All teeth have the ability to withstand certain extrinsic or external forces. They're the strongest material in the mouth or in the human body. The enamel is without a doubt the strongest structure as far as hardness goes that can withstand the pressures of chewing, normal mastication. But under it is the inner works, or the brain of the tooth, and that it tells you how much pressure you're putting on it. Call that proprioception. The pulp, or the nerve inside the enamel, also has a layer of tissue over it called the dentin that alarms us when we've overactivated a tooth. And each tooth is called a tooth organ. We have 32 adult tooth organs. The teeth all act independently, and they can give you a response independently or collectively. The back teeth are generally used functionally for mulling or grinding or chewing. The front teeth, the canines and the incisors, rip, tear. The molars tend to grind or mill the food. But it has to be broken down. If it isn't properly broken down, you can ask any GI specialist. It's the worst thing that can happen to your gastrointestinal tract because you'll be swallowing whole foods. They will not be properly broken down in the mouth, so all the nutrients you need may not be readily available for absorption. The teeth, they have multiple functions. The anatomy of the teeth require them to have limits too, so that you are aware if you're overdoing it on a tooth. Permanent teeth are very stable. They're all suspended by ligaments in their sockets that go down to the bone. It's called a periodontal ligament. So when you put pressure on a tooth, you're actually compressing that tooth into the bony socket by a ligament. And that ligament is extremely functional too. It has nerve endings. It gives you position in the mouth. If I bite incorrectly and my jaw's out of alignment, my teeth will tell me it because I'll put pressure on a surface that normally isn't being used. We call those lateral forces. Those lateral forces can be very destructive. Balanced forces can be very useful and very functional. Lateral forces, they can break teeth, they can cause fillings to be broken down, just simply because they can be extremely destructive. You're exerting so much pressure on two cusps that normally come together, and they're supposed to. They're working okay if you don't exceed the maximum stress you could put on that surface. I've had people break teeth in half, all the way from the middle of the tooth, through the nerve, down to the roots, completely through it, chewing on a bubble gum. Could your teeth bite through a finger? Flesh, ligaments, bone, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. It could bite straight through it if the force was concentrated enough in an area where you're in a fulcrum. You're back far enough that you could exert all of that 70 pounds, but maybe another 100 pounds, because it goes all up to 170 pounds. You could go right through a finger, snapping it like a pencil. At that area where you're biting further back in the mouth, you're closer to the fulcrum, so you can exert more force. In other words, more force is placed on the posterior teeth than on the anterior. The anterior teeth aren't necessarily as strong either. They have a single root and they're cylindrical. They're strong on their own, but the posterior teeth have two roots, almost twice as strong, and the uppers have three roots. The pressure is distributed over more surface area. And these roots, with the nerve inside them, it's not like a solid mass per se, it's more like a cone. So you're exerting pressure on all the outer surface of that cylinder versus necessarily right down the middle. These teeth can withstand tremendous forces.